Okay, we're over here on the east side of the house. If this was a wood destroying insect report, a termite inspection, and it's not. Okay, it was not contracted, but I would say that the fence is conducive by design. A wooden fence next to the house. Most people want a fence. So that's typical, and you see that, and it's called by design. Same thing with plumbing. Most people want a kitchen sink. Most people want a shower. Those are conducive by design. Now, this shrubbery right here, that's conducive to wood destroying insects as well. It's conducive to termites, and it's conducive to carpenter ants. So the shrubbery, anything like this, and we're going to see more, it should be cut back away from the house. Okay, we've got some windows over here, and we've got some stair-step cracks between the brick and mortar beneath the windows. All of the windows, I guess all of the windows, I'm not sure about that one. We've got stair-step cracks between the bricks and mortar between the windows along the east side of the house. Now, is there anything to note? A couple interesting things. One, this is brick. Okay, this is a great building material. It's fireproof. This home could burn down and you could still use the brick. And it's maintenance free. I mean, you might come in here and see these cracks. You might do a little repointing every once in a while. But for the most part, brick exterior wall system is maintenance free. Unless you paint it. See that over there? That gray is a trendy color. It is. It's a nice, and I inspect gray houses. I have nothing against a gray house. Except that paint, whether it's gray or orange or pink, is a trendy color. And now you've turned a zero maintenance or low maintenance wall system into a maintenance required wall system, because that paint will peel. You can ask my wife about that. The paint will peel. She needed to paint over the red brick, and she's been painting over the red brick every few years. So now another thing about this brick wall system, okay, is it has weep holes. Because one thing about brick is it's porous and water actually goes through it. We have a drainage plane behind the brick. I can't see the drainage plane. I have to assume that the drainage plane is there. Okay, so we have weep holes every so often. And they call them weep holes because if you have an event, I've seen a few, I hope you don't, if you have an event, water will come out of those holes. But most of the time, the amount of water that gets through the brick, most of the time the only thing that comes out of there is vapor. Now those holes are necessary. Those are not an abnormality. Those holes should remain. Sometimes people will have trouble with pests coming in, ants for example, and they sell little wire meshes, little wire screens that still allows the weep holes to do their job. Okay? The grading and drainage on this side of the house is pretty decent right here. I mean, for an older house like this, it's pretty decent. Okay? If you'll notice, we got brick from this corner to this corner. That's a lot of brick. And we're in North Texas. We got expansive clay soil. Between this soil is completely hydrated and dehydrated, it expands and contracts about 3 inches. We expect some movement. So currently, what we do is you'll see the lines in the street. Those are control joints. Okay, expansion joints, some people call them. Call it what you will, but current architecture, we would have a control joint. Like right about here where all this cracking is, we'd have a control joint right there, and you wouldn't have that cracking. We wouldn't, and then every so often, come over here, like this window, it would have, a control joint here, so somebody would decide, the best places to put the control joints to minimize the stair-step cracking. So far, none of the stair-step cracking around this home has been especially concerning to me. But we're going to walk around and we're going to check it out. The windows have been replaced. These are not original to the house. I think they're double pane vinyl frame. They're vinyl frame for sure. I'm pretty sure they're double pane vinyl frame. So this home's had some window updates. Everything that's wood needs to be scraped and painted. This is the best side. This is the east side. Wait till we get to the west side. I'll show you something there. But we'll be talking then. Okay. All these bushes right here, Okay, they're too big. By the time this holly bush, by the time its trunk got to be 3 inches, this is technically a tree. Trees should not be closer than 25 feet to the foundation, especially a slab foundation, to minimize the movement. The tree branches are going to grow and they're going to wreck your tree. The roots are going to go up underneath your house and suck all the moisture out of it, cause your floor to heave. Oh, this tree is, I get it, you know, everybody wants a big tree in their front yard. All right, I can see that. But this tree is a liability, as are all these bushes. All these bushes. Now, these are holly bushes. They're stickers. They'll keep your daughter's boyfriend out, or they'll keep your daughter in. But if there's a fire, you have to overcome these bushes to get out. All right? If there's a fire, the fireman is going to have to overcome, the first responders are going to have to overcome these bushes to go in to save you. Just saying, it's time. They're too wide. Should you have bushes out here? Shrubs out here? Sure. Some plants, make it nice. These have done everything they're supposed to do. These have lived a long, healthy life. But now it's overgrown. When you got bushes, when you got shrubs next to your house, it cuts the shear effect. It can actually be beneficial for your utility bills. But you got more than enough shear effect here. When the bushes are this close to the house, the brick that's porous, remember I was talking about the porous brick? The brick that's porous, it can't dry. It can't dry through the weep holes. It holds the moisture. The sun doesn't get to it. It doesn't bake. It doesn't, you'd have that vapor. The vapor doesn't get created. So it holds moisture inside of the walls. And that attracts termites and carpenter ants. Carpenter ants use this as like a little bridge and come on over. They're used to crawling over stuff like this. This is what carpenter ants do. And termites, they're blind. All right, they go by pheromones and stuff. They don't want to be seen because they can't see. And they know, and they'll come in through here and they'll see this is a nice dark spot, man. We're running from infrared, and they'll see this and then come right in there. And they'll use this as a bridge to come into your home. These columns are over here. We got a little bit of movement on the columns. Now, this siding should have a weep between the bottom edge of the siding and your patio. Your patio's got carpet over it. I can't tell if this home has been treated or not because of this carpet, which is a trip hazard. It's worn carpet, okay. But also, if there was any indication that we're going to have there was some termite treatment, this is a prime location to look to see if something like that might have happened. And I can't tell when you've got old carpet like this. But the reason why you should have a weep screed around between the siding and the foundation, the patio cover, the flatwork patio, front porch, is because the water wicks up. The water wicks up into the wood right there. That's what it does. Not necessarily a good thing. Storm doors are beyond the scope of this inspection. This one looks like it's in pretty good shape. Okay, our springs there. Everything seems to be working fine. Okay, we're good there. But we've got a door here, a door within 24 inches. Okay, a window within 24 inches of the door, of the hinge side of the door, should be tempered safety glass. This should have been tempered safety glass. It's closer than 24 inches. I know the ring works. And we got wood rot coming up in here. This is the most movement that I've seen, but this is a decorative wing wall right here. All right. And we got this, and it's kicking out. And we got the stair step cracks right in there. All right. So we've definitely got some movement. The walls are holding up pretty good. Our soldier brick. These are sailor bricks. These are soldier bricks. Our soldier brick is kind of loose right there. Again, cracking and peeling paint. We're going to have a lot of that. Now, if you'll notice, the pattern of the cracking and peeling paint underneath this cornice right here is quite different. And that's a symptom of poor attic ventilation. And I've already been on the roof. We've already talked about that a little bit. But this is a symptom. You take your possible causes and apply them to symptoms. I mean, there's some diseases that are completely identified that way. Cracking and peeling paint, cracking and peeling paint. All this shrubbery needs to be cut back. Nobody can tell you if there's a termite tube running up the side of that. All right? Nobody can tell you if there's a shelter tube up underneath there. There might be. I doubt it. I don't know. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt anything. Unless I don't know. What's your language, bud? Coming on along. Now this is the side. This is the west side, so it's a little worse torn up right here. See, we got the little wood that's coming out. All right, so there's wood over there. Coming along, we got some more cracks underneath the windows because we have this whole area. This whole area. And this is, by the way, this is conducive to wood destroying insects. These are conducive conditions. All this shrubbery. We move on along. Again, wood damage, like I said, cracks under the windows. All this brickwork, and we do not have a control joint. This is pretty interesting. It's kind of let me look at the house a little bit. We don't have a lot of side yards. I'm not seeing any front. I'm wondering if this house ever had a garage. It's kind of... Okay, no control joints. We're going across the west side of the house now. And again, the paint is worse for wear. Got a little raccoon entrance right there. Maybe mice. Somebody's tried to control that. Some metal around. Everything in this wood needs to be painted. Moving on along, fence, conducive by design. Level grading and drainage. Negative grading and drainage. Negative grading and drainage in the flower beds around all this shrubbery over there. I'm not going to go back over to that, but we got negative drainage right over here as well. Coming along here, this is a clothes dryer vent. It's sprung open. See that? It's dirty, needs to be cleaned. These bushes need to be cut away from the house. This water faucet, and I got another video about the front one. The difference between this one and the front one is this one does not have a pipe that's supporting it. It does not have any support. It's not insulated, and it does not have a vacuum breaker. This is a clean out for the kitchen. Stair step cracks between the brick and mortar between the kitchen window. That's a clean out. This was one of the two clean outs. That was probably the original clean out. The patio is broken. It's not cracked. It's not in plane. The crack is wider than 1/32 of an inch. The crack does not peter out when it gets to the end. All the guidelines I use to determine the performance of flat work is busted here, man. This is just, you could grind it off and seal it and just go for a few years. If that's your business model, it could be made so that it's not quite a trip hazard. On the other hand, taking this all out and repouring it is another option. Probably the better option. Now, when I was on the roof, I said, well, we got a metal roof. Looks like it's metal R panels. I said I'd be able to tell when I got down here if it was vinyl. I'm down here, and they are vinyl panels, but we've got these old fiberglass skirts. They never replaced the skirts around there. The post columns, if you will, that are holding this up are not supposed to be spaced farther apart than 8 feet. You're supposed to have a ledger board that holds this here. We do not have a ledger board that holds it to the fascia. Alright? And obviously, and then you're supposed to have flashing. We had flashing over the top, but you're supposed to have Z flashing over the bottom. So that keeps it from doing this. So we got some wood rot happening on our band board that's acting like our ledger board. It's not properly flashed, and our columns are too far apart. We don't have a lot of support here. This is hanging a little bit. After a while, gravity is going to take over. Gravity and movement. So all of this is, the home would probably be better if it was just taken off. It'd be nice if you had a garage too, but it's not up to me. I'm not over here. There's a clean out. Move along. Be careful. This is vinyl. Okay, somebody's got a gas grill. This is a vinyl roof. Connect the dots here. You're just asking for it. Just asking for it. Here's a clean sewer clean out. Okay, it's been replaced. Got another video about that. I was never able to get it to screw back on tight. Coming on along, air conditioning, we talked all about that. We're going to talk about the electrical in another video. Moving on along. See this crack right here? See that? It's in the span of a hand and it goes this way. Okay, that's a shrinkage crack. Some people call them corner pops. Corner pops. Okay, call it what you will. Okay, if that falls out, then it's supporting some brick, and so you might want to put that back because you don't want to lose the support for your brick exterior right there. That crack is conducive to wood-destroying insects. Termites will go up inside of those cracks unseen into the house. So that's a conducive condition. If it was going to be a termite report, we'd call that a conducive condition. But that's not a foundation problem. That crack in and of itself, I'm not saying that this house has foundation problems or doesn't have foundation problems. I'm not saying that it doesn't. But so far, what I've able to, the windows have been replaced, so I lost a lot of history there. I lost a lot of observations. I'm not seeing a lot of movement on the brick. I got this little hairline crack right there. Okay, so I just not, so far, without having been inside, I mean the patio's a wreck, but so far at this part of the inspection, I'm not ready to make a call on the foundation, but you know, all the exterior evidence does not support need for foundation repair yet. So the reason why we have these corner pops, okay, shrinkage cracks, is the brick and the cement expand and contract at different rates, and the pressure always comes out at the corners. And I can go into a longer explanation, but I also have one baked into the report. Concrete's always drying, okay, so it means it shrinks. You'll never be able to measure that. Your brick is always expanding. It's the only part of your house that actually grows. You'll never be able to measure that. So the brick's growing, the cement's shrinking, and they are reacting differently. The concrete reacts differently to the ground moisture conditions, weather, temperature, humidity. Brick acts differently for all the same things. So they're expanding, contracting differently. The pressure comes out at the corner. You got a shrinkage crack at your corner. That's it. You know, I mean, I come up here and I can tell, you know, at your freeze boards and stuff, there's a little separation, there's a little movement. But this is an older home. I mean, we kind of expect that. This is what I've seen so far.